are back again. This is Big Loud Mouth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
We are back again. Episode 28.
28.
I think we're putting a bit of break on the whole let's be honest.
Yeah.
But today we are still going to be honest.
We're always honest anyway.
We are going to be brutally honest.
Always honest.
But what we're talking about today is not in relation to relationships. See what I did there? Bang. Bang, bang, bang.
You went school. Congratulations.
Double entendre.
Congratulations.
Double entendre. But
what a great proof of your education.
Money not wasted. Gang.
I don't know about that. We have to.
But ladies and gentlemen, as you're looking at us through the lenses, as we're looking at the camera through the lenses, or however it goes, I'm sure you can notice one thing. There's something different about today's show.
Yeah, so
my co-host has finally left the Agbero group to join the normal people. Oz has cut his hair. Can you tell us the inspiration behind you cutting your hair?
Still sexy, bro. Still sexy. I mean,
no one asked you that one.
Gotta give them. You gotta switch it up sometimes, man. You gotta switch it up.
So how long?
I have the privilege of being able to grow my hair and switch it up.
You know now it looks like you actually do have a proper hairline.
Unlike some people, I always had a proper hairline.
No, that hair was messing with your hairline.
Haters going hate. Ballers wanna roll.
Actually, we can't be singing that song on the show. That's a messed up song.
Yeah, okay, it's still a true.
That's a messed up song.
I had to cut it off, obviously. Man had the interview in it, so...
you don't even look like one...
You
don't even look like one weary.
That's it. I look like one drug dealer.
Excuse me. Did they just give you visa? looking like one shaku singer.
Well done.
I'm sorry. I told you I was going to go in.
It's cool.
Honestly,
shaku singer.
You look like one of them shaku singer.
Cool, because I could grow my hair. You
can't.
But
now you look like one better person.
I had to just clean it up real quick. I'm going to grow it again. But obviously, need to get a job first, innit?
Yeah, get the job, stay
in the job first. Stay in the job for like 2 days, then bun it.
Even I'm thinking about shaving my beard, you know. But I don't want to. The stress of
when you start yours like in August, isn't it?
Yeah. But the stress of it just growing back is like, man. But you know, first day I'll just go in clean, neat. I'll shape it up and see what they say. But you know, you new employers, I don't know. I've never had to shave or do anything special. But where I'm when I start a job, I don't care. As long as it's only the interview process, I'm like, cool. Yeah.
After that, it is what it is, man.
Well, anyway, it's good to see your scalp again.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
Listen. And people's like, oh, am I going to do waves? I'm like, my head is already wave.
Without the low cuts.
See the conch that they're giving me. Wave.
You know them conch, they go, and they rub it down like this.
Yes, of conking. My head is a wave. So,
guy, your head has suffered though.
No, you can tell it.
There's contour. You actually have contour. Just see on the top of your head, I can see. You know when they just knock the right place here.
Look, it fits. It just fits right here.
Hey, you know, and then they drag it down. Hey. But anyway, shout out to Sarah. Sarah Calder. Thank you very much for coming last week.
Thank you, Sarah.
I've watched the podcast, that episode back, and my lord. I thought the one with AY was actually funny. Yeah. But last week was...
Sarah was shaking tables.
You were shaking different kind of tables. Like even some tables that... And someone said something to me and they were like, Tola, for the first time in your life, you were actually just observing. And that's what I was doing last week. I was just observing. I just observe. Huh?
That's what you saw.
No, because you two were like going
Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Observe my back foot.
But we appreciate Sarah for coming on. I'm being totally honest. You know, about money blinding you. That's not all we talked about, but you know, that was the main, like, I think that was the funniest thing. Like, the most brutally honest thing I've ever heard. You know,
especially in Nigeria, because people don't really understand how wealthy Nigerian guys are. Like, them guys in Lagos, in Lekki, like, they are crazy wealthy.
They have that kind of money that
like
it will let you understand the reason why your girlfriend is cheating.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Big, but I mean, he drives. He has. Oh, okay. Do you know what? Like, as long as you become that guy. Like, as long as you come back home. As long as you can promise me that you're going to end up with me. You know, it's funny because There's money and there's money.
No,
you know when some people say my money is not your money's mate.
Right.
Like there's some money here.
There are levels.
Listen, if your partner is cheating, you can totally understand. You'll be like, but all you can say is like, but you have to go every day. That's why. You know when you go, but babe, can you just miss out Wednesday or Thursday? I'll spend it with me, for God's sake. You think Saturday and Sunday is enough? Sunday we go to church, Saturday I'm not here. Just take 2 days off. And the guy is just like, okay.
Do you know the worst part? The worst part is when it tells you, babe, you don't need to work anymore.
And then you have one boyfriend that is just coming in from what Ikeja traffic. And the guy is sweating, tired like this. And you're there like, babe, I've been told to quit my job. By who? By the other guy now. Like, so how are we going to survive? You don't worry, I'll take care of that. And then you just have to understand. And you're like, you know what? At least NEPA bill will be paid this month.
Plus the allowance that they give you.
You know what we're laughing about is real life for some people.
It's true now.
There's one,
but
there's one bastard that's probably just servicing someone else's girlfriend, and the boyfriend has to understand because you know that's the Nigerian economy.
Don't be a victim of that.
Don't be a victim. That's the reason why we're brutally honest on this show. Don't be a victim.
Don't be a victim.
There are plenty of
don't settle for less.
There are plenty of fish in the sea.
Plenty.
Don't let one man now be using money to rob your destiny.
Because they want to off pant.
I know.
Don't be a victim.
Well, thank you for being brutally honest, Sarah. Today, we've actually been going, thinking about, what to talk about this week. I know we're supposed to have a guest this week, but obviously, I would say for future purposes, didn't happen this week. And today, I said to us, let's talk about something we haven't spoken about in a long time. And I think, Oz was like, I don't want to talk about this guy, even though the guy is Oz's best friend. It was like, I don't want to talk about this guy. I'm like, but we have to talk about it. Like, last time we actually visited the news was actually a few episodes ago.
Nah, he's always on the news, bro.
No, I'm saying anything that's come from the news. Like, last time we said anything that's news related. Okay. It's been a while. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about nobody other than the orange man. Mr. Donald Trump. President Donald Trump.
Of the United States.
Of the United States.
Of the free Americas.
Yes. And his visit lately to Europe and the United Kingdom, which was yesterday.
Which was very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Did you see his tweet? He tweeted that the conversation he apparently had with the Queen.
No, I didn't see that.
Right. He broke so many protocols.
Fam.
So many Buckingham Palace protocols. It is unreal.
And I think this is why I wanted us to talk about this today. But let's start from his most important visit. I know people would disagree, saying visiting the UK is his most important visit.
Okay, do you think he should have visited the UK?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
They had Churchill as a prime minister for a long time. So.
Sure. Do you think that people had I wouldn't say had the right to protest, but people had a ground to protest his visit?
No.
Why?
Because, like every other leader, he's not, I would say he's partially entitled to a state visit if he has a relation, if we claim in the UK that we are actually allies with the US. I'm sorry, until you break all ties, you have no leg to stand on as a citizen telling him not to come visit the country. There's too much business to be conducted than for you to look at his view, I mean, earlier you said chill, but you didn't agree when I said the United Kingdom had Churchill as prime minister for a long time. And the history of Churchill isn't really clean. And there was a picture of Donald Trump sitting in the chair of Winston Churchill, which fits perfectly, if you ask me.
I said it fits.
It fits perfectly. Wow. So you know what? And this goes back to the whole thing of like...
Consider that Churchill is regarded one of the greatest prime ministers
my back foot.
In the UK.
My back foot.
Okay.
Man can win war, but as a decent human being, I don't think... When you read some of these guys' speeches, as a decent human being, he's not to be classed as one.
Okay.
I may be wrong. That's my own opinion. That's why when
that's a very tough statement to swallow.
Have you never read?
I've read.
Okay, and so am I talking rubbish?
To an extent, yeah.
You don't want them to revoke your state, so
no,
it's
okay. Not about that. I think Churchill is exactly the same. Has exactly the same philosophy as Abraham Lincoln. And
they're all the same.
He's regarded But you just said something about his
You
humanity.
didn't ask me about. You didn't.
I know.
Well, you didn't ask me about.
Because I know your view about
Yeah.
Lincoln, right? But you just said something about his humanity, and I feel like that is a little bit misleading because you didn't live in that time.
I didn't live in that time,
Yeah.
but you know how they say history.
Okay, and speeches is one thing to classify as speeches, but humanitarian work, he did some great work.
Yeah, no doubt. But there's some things you say that, okay, are you telling me everything Trump's doing is bad?
No.
Exactly. I'm sure he's done some good works. I'm not here defending Trump. Oh my God, why are you defending Trump? No, we're being real. No, we're being real here. We're being real. We're actually being real. You know what? It's just like when people cuss Buhari out in Nigeria. He hasn't done everything not everything he's done is bad.
What's one thing has he done?
I will find out for you in the next episode. I'll find out for you in the next episode. No, but obviously, like, no one's ever probed any, like, person in power, Senate, like he's done. Yeah, there was no fruitfulness behind it, but that created a state of mind saying, yeah, no matter what kind of power you are in, you can be probed. Easy. And for me, I think that's a big statement in Nigeria because that's never been done. I mean, yes, did he waste the first few years, but we're not talking about Buhari today. We're talking about Donald Trump.
Okay.
So, you asked me a question saying, are there grounds for people to protest him not coming to the UK? No.
Okay.
No. I mean, come on. Like, there are worse, like, world leaders that the UK conduct business with. Anyway, I mean, come on. Like, and I'm talking about, like, terrible leaders who human rights in the country is next to nothing. So, but you want to pick on Donald Trump? Yeah, because he's a world power. Of course, I can understand that. But all this propaganda of floating dolls and down with hip.
True. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I totally believe that the whole protest thing is a waste of time.
And if you contributed to that protest and for that baby,
especially the period in which the UK is with the whole Brexit nonsense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't matter who the president of America is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of person he is. As far as the UK is concerned, right? The UK needs America more so now than probably the war, I would say. Right? I think we need them now than we needed them in a war.
Yeah.
Because if this whole Brexit, if it's going sideways, but it can get even worse. And the only real people that can back us up is the United States. So it doesn't matter who sits on that chair as president. We need their help.
you need to do business with him.
The others is whether or not we decide to do a side deal with Russia, but we probably won't because of the relationship that we have with the USA. So we're probably going to need China. And China ain't going to do that because they'll want us to go through the world trade. And the world trade is a free fall. So, the whole protest, yes, it's like, I don't discredit people protest. I think everybody has
everybody has the right to
right to protest. Yeah. And I think everybody should protest in what they feel strongly about. Same, I'm protesting in a way that, that protest was a waste of time. It was a waste of time and resources because if anything, we should have been rolling out the red carpet to Mr. J. Trump and telling him, yo, we need your help.
Because, the thing is, and this is what, like, a lot of people think, when I say this, that I'm stupid or I'm crazy. It's the fact that this is mostly by liberals. These so-called free-thinking liberals. Like, they don't weigh up things. Like, I'm not defending anything he's doing. No, I'm not.
Tell us, coach,
No. It's true.
Quotes,
I'm tired of
free-thinking
liberals. Because guess what? If you're a free-thinking liberal, you have to think about the pros and cons of what you're doing.
Okay.
You can't just think like one-way traffic. No. You have to think about, okay, if we do this...
But isn't that the whole purpose of being a free thinker? It's because you don't have to restrict yourself of just thinking in both ways.
Then it's just you're living in a cave.
No, it's not living in a cave.
No, you're living in a cave. If you think there's just...
free thinkers, the purpose of free thinkers is the ability to think however you want and whatever way you want and whatever shape that thought takes you. That's the purpose of having a free thinking.
And not thinking about the consequences.
That's the whole purpose. Ask Mr. Kanye West.
Then that's why people like that can't rule. It's true though.
But you're missing the point.
I'm not missing
the point. If
you're going to protest, a ruler, you can't be a free thinker. How about that?
Okay, yeah, I can get you on that. Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense. You can't. Your country is in a
But you saying that also contradict what you just said, though. That means those people that did protest aren't free-thinking liberals.
Well, maybe I'm thinking in a different way. Because the way I see free thinking to myself is allow yourself to think as freely as you want. And then looking at the other side of things, like your thinking is not restricted to just like, euphoria. No. You have to be able to think about the euphoric sense of things and then look at the conscience side of things as well and be able to like at least just weigh and just, weigh the balance of everything while still thinking in a broad way.
Definitely not free thinking.
If that is not free thinking, I don't want.
That's definitely not
I don't want.
free thinking.
Me, I do not want. So you can't, especially now that, the UK as a whole, we're in a state where Boris Johnson,
my jigger, my life, Boris.
Number one, whose head is not correct.
Wait, no. See. Listen, this what you guys don't understand.
I know you're best friends with Boris. It's fine.
We go way back. Okay. My life, Boris. Yeah, listen.
He's resigned.
He had to resign.
David Davis has resigned.
He had to.
Or is it David?
Doesn't matter. He had to resign though. He had to resign because the policy that May is trying to accept isn't good enough for anybody. But
they knew this from the start.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, they
did not. The EU have nothing but time.
This is what you didn't understand, yeah? This is why I keep telling people about policies and policies makers, right? With Theresa May and her situation is that she partially doesn't want UK to leave, right? But as a prime minister, she has to go with what the general election, what the voting was. She has to follow that because she's the prime minister. She's the voice of the people. So there's two sides of her that's fighting. And for her, she's bringing out a deal that doesn't benefit the people that wants to stay.
Yeah.
Nor does it benefit the hardcore Brit exiter.
Yeah.
Right? Because once she brings those reform in, everyone's going to reject it. The people that want to remain, which is mostly people with immigration descendants, wants to stay, mostly people of major cities, so London and Birmingham / Manchester, right, want to remain. They're definitely going to reject that policy because they want to remain. And then the people that voted for Brexit, the hardcore ones, are going to reject it because it doesn't benefit them because they still remain in the EU.
Yeah.
So Boris, as foreign secretary, has to resign because, we're not giving one side what they want.
Yeah.
We're giving nobody what they want. So what then happens is that Parliament would then go to a vote and say, the people have to make a say because this clearly nobody wants. And if that does happen, Theresa May will have to resign. And if that does happen, it's gonna equate into a general election. I'm not too sure about the context on the political how that works. And that
I was gonna say who's there to take over if she does resign.
That's what I'm trying to tell you why Boris had to resign. Boris, my jigger.
So he's gonna be prime minister.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's always wanted to be prime minister, even though he kept on denying it anyway.
You have to deny it. You have to deny it. You go play the game.
See, they ain't got no balls. Just go direct. Tell me what politician.
But what politician has the balls?
You haven't met Nigerian politicians.
They don't have balls. They have guns. Two different things.
They have guns and jazz. I want your job. I'm coming for your job.
That's it. And so he has to resign, and with the hope of starting to gallivant to gather his crew.
Yeah.
For a coup. That's how politics works, bro.
I understand.
This sometimes being a politician it's not for the faint-hearted, and Theresa May is looking very shaky.
But anyway, without diving too much into it, so those people who are protesting the fact that Donald Trump is in the UK, I think someone needs to break it down to them. Because you can't keep collecting people's money for donation to go and be buying balloon.
No, but you gotta let them do what they gotta do, innit? That's what they want to do. You know what I mean? That's
Listen, from when they don't even listen to Black Lives Matter. Yeah? You should know none of this. I'm sorry, when people say, sometimes I go to people, why do you protest? Why do you protest?
Nah, but you can't say that.
I know, I fully understand the reason why you can't say that. But sometimes, when you're protesting, sometimes you should know the kind of war you can win and the ones you can't win.
Yeah, but that's the whole purpose of protesting, bro. That's the whole purpose.
You protest for change, don't you?
It's irrelevant of what you can or cannot win. A protest march is not for the sake,
What, to create awareness? Maybe.
It's not for this.
But not the type that would say, "Oh, you can't come." Number one, he is the president of the United States. He will come in.
Yes,
You can't do anything about it.
Well, actually, we could if we wanted to. I'll tell you why we could. The reason we could is because one, every petition that gets over 100,000 votes has to be debated in Parliament, right?
And you don't think that happened?
That definitely did not happen.
100,000. Yeah. I'm sure they got 100,000 signatures.
You, bro, that didn't happen. Right? So that conversation in Parliament never happened.
Are you sure? I can tell you there are about 100,000 people who, just in London alone, who don't like
Trump. You could probably tell me that. But the thing is, when push comes to shove on paper...
It didn't happen.
Did it happen? Okay. No. So
you're saying someone sitting there and just pressing delete.
So that conversation in Parliament didn't happen. So once that conversation in Parliament didn't happen, this is a waste of time.
Well, so they didn't hit the number of petition by one.
Every petition that's over 100,000 signed signatures has to be debated in Parliament. It's a law, right?
Yeah, I know that. That's why you get all them messages from your parents.
Exactly. So that conversation for Mr. Trump not coming.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Jay is his middle name. I'm just...
Donald J. Trump.
I'm hoping. I'm guessing. Yeah. I saw it on The Simpsons. So.
Yeah. The Simpsons, I think the Simpsons have a license anyway.
Yeah.
They get license, so that's his.
Well, yeah. So that conversation, I know that conversation didn't happen because it wasn't on their agenda. So once that conversation never happened, then we out here. So that protest was just like...
I understand there's this... how do you say it? I can't for the life of me remember the English term for what you're saying. It's like it didn't happen, but I'm sure people got 100,000 signatures, but it just didn't happen.
I'm not sure.
According to the website, it didn't get enough.
I'm not sure.
100,000
listen, I'm not sure they did.
But this is what I'm saying. You can't play games with the government.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not sure they did. And plus, once that conversation does happen in Parliament, you also have to understand there has to be a party that kind of carries it. Right now, Labour ain't gonna carry it.
No.
Right? The other two major Conservative and Lib Dem aren't going to carry it. So, the only ones that are going to carry it is the others. And they're too small right now.
Just to be clear to our viewers here, we're not here defending whatever, Trump's behavior has done, especially with the immigration situation in the United States lately, which is absolutely disgusting, of kids having to represent themselves in immigration court to defend themselves and, why they should be allowed to remain in the UK. We're talking about, like, babies here, like kids who...
In the US, you mean?
Yeah, in the US. Yeah. They shouldn't even be in that situation in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, we're not. We're just talking, like, we're saying, let's be honest here.
See, that's another thing that... The thing with America, America is tricky because, one, that case isn't federal.
Why is it not federal?
It's down to the state, so it's not a federal case.
Texas is...
Yeah, so it's up to the people in Texas to actually go... It's a state of...
So it's not... Technically, it's not Trump's fault.
Yes, technicality.
But he has superior power to do something about it.
Yeah, of course.
But then, when you exercise... What's that part they call? Sovereign powers. There's a term for it. Like, they keep saying Buhari shouldn't use to overturn decisions of the state. But this is why I wanted to talk about this today. Because it's easy to blame Trump for those things. But we need to understand that America has 52 states.
Yeah.
And these 52 states almost operate independently, apart from when they have a federal law that governs them. And the federal laws aren't that many as the state laws, right? So you're expecting a president to use his, I can't remember for the life of me the actual term, is sovereign power, the one they kept on saying Obama shouldn't use as well to overturn decisions.
I don't know the terminology.
So no, there's a power where the president can go, okay, this is what we're doing.
I know what you're talking about.
But once you start to do that, you start to mess with the independence of the state, which then creates a domino effect in terms of problems for the country.
The issue of America is that obviously Donald is the figurehead of racism right now and discrimination. And obviously Texas has always been a state of
Yeah, and this happened in Texas. Let's remember, people. So this happened in Texas.
So when that happened, it was kind of like, Texas is a state right now that's gonna ride and die for Donald Trump. So he's never going to intervene in any of that situation.
Because it's a big state as well,
Yeah,
and majority of the votes are for him.
Yeah.
If he's gonna go for another term or for his political party, will come from.
Do you think it's gonna be a 2-term?
No.
I think he will.
I think he's actually bored.
I think it's gonna be a 2-term.
Like when you see him, I think he's bored. I think he looks bored. He would
no.
rather do something fun.
Listen, did you see what he did to Brussels in for NATO summons?
Yeah,
Bruh.
where they had a conversation and went back to the state and he scrapped everything.
Bruh.
Yo, that is G-level shit.
Bruh.
Pardon my French.
He checked them.
Pardon my French. That is some G-level stuff.
Bro, no one's done
really...
that for a long time. No one's done that since since Putin became on his first term.
Like when I heard it, because I heard it for the first time yesterday, I was like, wait, hold on. This guy actually had a conversation with NATO and then went back home and goes, no, we're not going to do that. Literally, you know that's what it did. It's like you write cost work.
Yeah.
And then your lecturer's like, well, I think you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
After investing night and day. Like, and this is what I'm saying, like, people need to understand, like, the kind of person
he is.
Don't
extreme.
reason with him.
Yeah, he's not somebody you can reason with.
You can't reason with him.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to defend him.
He's not a likable person. But I think all of that is all a facade as well, because I feel like he's playing the villain because he knows that's what gets the attention. And right now, attention is what sells. Attention. Every major corporation everyone's looking for attention. Where can they get the most attention? Where can they get the 2 cents of attention? And right now, he's got a buckload of attention. A huge load of attention. And he's winning. He's staying with. That's why I feel he's going to be a 2-term.
You really see that?
Listen, I don't see right now, except he gets impeached.
And he won't, because if it was going to be impeached, they would have done it.
They would have done it by now.
They would have done it like maybe a year and 2 months.
Not even just, they would have done it. Right now would be the perfect time.
They would have impeached him and put the right person they actually want in the position.
Yeah.
But let's talk about his trip to
to the UK.
This is what I'm saying. That protest did not make sense. It was a waste of money. I'm sorry.
But we're in the UK. They have money to waste.
But this is what I'm saying. If it was that serious of an issue to the UK government, he should never have met the Queen. Ever.
But the Queen is obliged to meet every United States president.
Really?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. That's where like a stand could have been taken. Like
for what? She's the
Queen. And there's this video where like she's teaching him how to walk next to her.
Dad, do you know how many bro? You do not walk in front of the Queen. It is a law. You can get arrested for walking in front of the Queen. You don't walk in front of the Queen.
But to be fair to him though, he tried to adjust.
Like do you know how many? Like he broke so many protocol. It was unreal. Like he was even trying to walk beside her, which is even worse.
So you're meant to walk like a step behind her.
Listen, you walk in the pace of authority. So you work at I think it's 6 spaces behind.
6? No, but
pace behind.
But how does she have a conversation with him?
You when she stops.
No, but you remember that guy that does this BBC Live channel, whatever.
What's it called?
The guy that does the great voice of BBC when it comes to like SeaWorld or Attenborough. Yeah. When he interviewed the Queen, he was like
that's
a bit
different.
That's
that was what do you call it? What was it called, man?
Informal meeting or
it's in the back of my head. But that's different.
You said it's in the back of your head now.
Right, sleep. So yeah, so that this and plus the royal family have loads of protocols as well, man. So in just like officiating positions, like you don't walk in front or beside the Queen.
Yeah, but what if you didn't know this?
What do you mean?
You wouldn't have known.
Listen, of course.
You wouldn't have known. They would have briefed him.
No, let me tell you why. Because once you're going to meet the Queen, you get sent. When my dad went to go meet the Queen, you get sent this massive list of to-dos and not to do, right? They tell you, Buckingham Palace, they tell you, they are well detailed, they scrutinize, right, to understand. They tell you, hold on, these are the do's and don'ts, this is what you shouldn't do, this is what you shouldn't say, this is how you curtsy, this is how you bow, this is what hand to use, when to speak to the Queen, when not to speak to the Queen.
You're only spoken to when you only speak when you're spoken to.
Exactly. Right? So it's very fine details. It's extremely fine details. So Buckingham Palace, the moment he arrives, so what happens is that through normal protocols, when they arrive, they go up and then they have a quick brief again of what's happening and this and then they go up and then they wait and then he has his private time. Yeah. And then they come out for the what do you call it, photographic, whatever, BBC and whatnot. And in that time, they also get told of, you know, we gotta wait for her to go out first, and it is how many.
Because even her husband doesn't even walk next to her.
He's never. He's always 6 paces behind. 6 paces behind. Why is it spaces? Paces behind. And he's.
Well, that's my point. If she's showing him around, how can she have a conversation with him?
Guy, you don't have a conversation. You don't have a conversation with the queen just like you're walking. It don't happen. That's not how it works. It don't happen like that.
And then
this is a sovereign ruler, bro.
And now we now say Nigerian kings have problem. All this is protocol. Someone has come to visit you. It's just like you come to my house and I'm not saying you walk behind me.
Guy, you don't know. I don't think you understand the whole idea of sovereignty. I don't think you do. I really don't. As a sovereign person myself, from a humble state of Edo.
Please. Even common Yoruba king. You can't even look them in the face. That's what I talk of someone who can buy your whole generation 10 times over.
No issue.
Or not even get king.
Well, of course.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of Being Brutally Honest is, you know, knowing when to protest, what to protest. Like, you know, as a free thinker.
Like I said, I don't coincide what he's saying.
As a free thinker, you should always think about everything. I don't believe in free thinking and you don't think about the pros and the cons of exactly what you're thinking or what you're actually.
Pros and cons are limitation of
They're
thinking.
not limitations.
Yes, they are. Because the two ways
about pros, because most free thinkers only think broadly about pros. So
according
as much as
to
you think about, tell me one free thinker has ever thought of anything negative.
Nostradamus.
Sorry?
Nostradamus.
Who's that?
Okay, there you go. Machiavelli.
Okay, so he's thinking to one side, innit? Just cons only. Exactly. Free thinking. You just signed it off. Free thinking.
You said your question was.
Me one.
And I gave you 2 people.
Machiavelli
and Nostradamus.
Only thought about negative stuff. Yeah? So,
according to you.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's not free thinking, is it?
Where
did he end Tupac? I beg. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. What I just said might not make sense, but I don't care.
It's not making sense.
It's not making sense. Tupac is dead. He's not coming back. That's because he was free thinking in a negative way. Good night. My name is Tola. This is us, and this is Big Loud Mouth.
I love you.
Peace.
This is Big Loud Mouth. Big Loud.